Hello, this is Reverend Dore, teaching religious science, which is the teaching of the science of mind from Sarasota, Florida. Today, we want to talk about the greatest secret seldom told. Here's a great secret that's so simple that you might be amazed when you hear it. It's a bigger secret than The Secret, the book The Secret, which talks about the law of attraction. It's good stuff, by the way. If you haven't read The Secret, do pick it up. You do attract people, situations, and things to you that correspond to what you are at the core of your being, but there's a lot more to it than that. The greatest secret seldom told is so basic that I think it's the basic rule of life. If you know this rule, it is really all you need to know. Follow it, work it, live it, and you can experience any life that your mind, body, and heart can believe and achieve. Your mind, because you must have a certain mental aptitude for so many pursuits in life. What I mean by that is, if you got an 85 IQ, you're not likely going to be a brain surgeon. You just don't have the mental capacity to do that advanced work. But that's okay. There's a lot of things you can be successful at. Your body, because like me, you may have the desire to be an athlete, but you don't have the body to do it. I was born with cerebral palsy, so I consider myself a miracle child to be able to walk and run and not twitch and look pretty much perfectly normal. But athletics, not a chance. No matter how much you pray, believe, or wish it, if you don't have the body, you can't do it. Now you're going to say, well, listen, there's 5'8" guys that make it in the NFL and even in basketball, but that's because they have a strong and athletic 5'8" body. And even so, they got to work twice as hard to make it because they just didn't get the body they needed. Your heart has to be in it because you must have the character, the determination, the desire, the will to do whatever is necessary to achieve your desire. If that means being at work at 5:30 a.m. to prepare for 8 a.m. practice, then you'll be there. If not, then you don't have the heart to achieve this desire. Find one that you are willing to sacrifice for. What is this basic rule of life? Now listen carefully. Your life is exactly the way you truly believe it is at the deepest part of your mind and soul. It is what you think it is. It's that simple. We all speak happy talk, often put on a brave face on a crappy life. We all, at one time or another, wish and hope and talk about the time when our ship comes in or when God favors us. But we know better, deep down inside. We know that the only ship that comes in is the one we call in with our thoughts, our words, and our deeds. We know who we really are deep inside. We can fool all of the people most of the time, but we can't fool ourselves at any time. So many of us live lives of quiet desperation, knowing that we're not living the life we thought we would live or are capable of living. So we try to find solutions outside ourselves, seeking the solution in a crystal, a drug, a relationship, the bottle, a new self-help book, a guru, or in earnest pleading prayers to God as if God were a vending machine who was going to take pity on you and dispense what you needed on command. In our society, we spend billions on self-help and self-health remedies, and so often they work for a few hours or days because we believe that they will, and belief is very powerful. But in the end, they're merely placebos for the real malady that ails us. Now that malady is the fact at our core that we really don't like ourselves very much, and we don't believe that we're worthy of what we want. Most of us see ourselves as defective, damaged, or soiled by past mistakes or past transgressions. You remember Jesus' 2 commandments in Luke 10:27? He said these 2 pretty much took care of all of the 10 commandments. If you did these 2, you had it pretty well done. Number 1 was love God with all your heart and all your mind. Put God at the center of your life. Number 2, love your neighbor, that's your brother or your sister human being, as you love yourself. Now, most people I know think that loving God is the most important part of these 2 great commandments. Matter of fact, in church, they often just leave off the second part. Now, it's important to recognize where all your power comes from, and that's God. and then put that power in the center of your life. You know, God doesn't have an ego and doesn't need ego gratification, praise, or your love. God does need you to realize where the power in your life is so that you can use it to fulfill your life purpose for being, which is to allow him or her to do its work through you as you. You exist so God can do its work in physical form, because God can't do it without you. God works through its creations. That's right. That is you and I and all other life. God works through you as you. Remember the old expression, God helps those who help themselves? That's true. It's exactly right. No, the key word in these two commandments of Jesus is the words, as you love yourself. That's the real meat of the thing. You know, until you can love yourself, you cannot use the complete power that God has given you as your birthright. Self-love is really the open sesame to life. Now, I'm not talking about being conceited and a real pain in the butt. I'm talking about having a really good, sound opinion of yourself, knowing that you're not perfect, but that's okay. Nobody is. How can God work through you while you are loathing yourself at the same time? If you're in a state of dislike or loathing, the door is shut, the fist is clenched, and the mind is filled with self-loathing, self-pity, and anger. That's not a good work environment for anyone, but certainly not for the Lord of the universe. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Seek, and you shall find. Ask, and it shall be answered unto you. Did you notice who had to initiate the dialogue? What was the common denominator there? Common denominator was you have to make the first move. It's you and I. God never starts the process. You do. So what do you do about this? You change your thinking and begin doing it right now. Change your thinking from complaining, wailing about your misfortune, which only creates more misfortune. Change your thinking to what you desire in your life, what you want, what you insist on having in your life, and what you know that you already have in your life. I want you to get into an attitude of knowing that it's yours before it arrives in form. When you pray, know that you've already received it, Jesus taught us. But you know, we don't pray that way, do we? We beg for something in the future. The thought and the belief always precedes the thing. Always. Nothing in this world or any other world was ever made without it first being a thought in a mind. That's a human mind or the mind of God. If you're talking about cosmos, galaxies, stars, planets, that's God's mind. If you're talking about cathedrals and great ocean liners and wonderful cities, that's us. Changing your thinking and changing your life is our slogan in religious science, but it's only part of the secret. Now, what's the rest of the greatest secret seldom told? And this may be the most important part. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions must all be in harmony and alignment. I'm going to repeat that. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions must all be in harmony and alignment. You cannot think lovely thoughts and then give somebody the California one-fingered salute in traffic. You cannot think love and then gripe and complain all through lunch. You cannot say that you love your wife or husband and then wonder yourself why you ever married him. You cannot talk about being a multimillionaire and then complain about how broke you are. You cannot experience health while telling the story of your latest sickness or your latest operation. A house divided cannot stand, and when you think one thing, speak another, and then do a third, you are a spiritual and mental house fatally divided. You're not going to produce anything good with that mindset. You see, your life is a perfect mirror. It's a reflection in a mirror of what you think, speak, and do. Your life is like a glass panel held in front of you that reveals exactly what's going on inside you or me or those we love. You are constantly projecting right on the screen of your life the movie you're producing, directing, and starring in every moment in your life. Your life is a mirror of what you are from the inside out. Sometimes it's not a pretty picture. To fix it, get in alignment and harmony with your thought, your word, and your deed, and start today. Until we're together again, bye-bye for now. This is Reverend Dore Jacques Patlian saying so long. Oh, P.S. If you want to know more about religious science, log on to csl.org to learn more. Find the nearest Center for Spiritual Living, that's what we call our churches, and come to a Sunday celebration or sign up for an introductory class. You'll really be glad you did. Bye-bye.